Hello everyone and good afternoon. It's Martin Lewis here from Graduation.Live Limited. Thank you all for joining us. I'm going to take a minute just to let everyone in. I can see the attendees, the number is rising. Just want to thank you all for being here. I'm also going to do a quick mic check whilst we wait with Dom first of all. Dom, can we hear you?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, all clear. And with Dan as well, please.
Hi everyone.
Perfect. I think the attendee list today really highlights how relevant today's topic is. And it's amazing to have so many people here. In fact, the numbers are still rising. We've got people here, loads of people from the UK, and even a few from the US, Canada, Cyprus, and even Malaysia. I'd also like to take an opportunity before we start to thank Sue from Northampton. Thank you very much for your help in setting up this webinar. So just another 20 seconds before we kick off, as the numbers are still climbing up to about 50 now. I know that time is precious, so we'll try and keep this session down to 30 minutes as much as we can, but it very much depends on the Q&A at the end. But any questions we can't answer during the session, we will come back to, and those will be answered in our Q&A handout, which will be distributed after this webinar along with the slides and along with the video. So don't be shy, use the Q&A button down at the bottom to put your questions into the box, and then we'll come to them at the end. If you do experience any technical issues, this webinar is able to be accessed at any time. So if you drop out, just click the link, come back in, and you'll be back in with us. So that's the housekeeping done. So I think it's 2 o'clock on the dot. Let's kick off with some introductions. So by way of an introduction, my name is Martin Lewis, the Managing Director of Graduation.Live Limited. And as many of you won't know me or the company, I'll give you a quick overview of why the company was started. So I started the company pretty much the day I graduated. So I am the founder as well as the Managing Director. That day I spent more to rent my gown than it costs to rent a car. So I knew that if I was spending this much money, the experience that came with it was going to be amazing. Unfortunately, when I got to my graduation, it didn't quite live up to expectations. I spent more time in queues than I did with my family, and the whole day felt quite rushed. So I decided to start my own company, a company that took the student, put them in the middle, and built the service around them. A company, in summary, that didn't break tradition, didn't break the bank, and most importantly, didn't break the planet. So I'll hand over to Dom to introduce himself.
Hi there, I'm Dominic Chandler. I am the marketing manager for Graduation Attire, supporting Martin in his quest to improve graduations. I am a former Nottingham Trent University graduate, and yeah, I look forward to speaking to you all today.
And I'm Dan Strang. I've been running technical businesses for the last 8 years, and we've got a strategic relationship with Graduation Attire to help revolutionise and improve a lot of the digital communications in and around graduations. Our business normally works with high-level brands, Facebook and Google, Nike and Adidas, around connecting their audiences in live physical venues with their brand.
So what should a virtual graduation experience look like? The first thing we quickly realized was that a virtual offering can never really replace the real thing. So the key thing was to embrace that. As intriguing as an army of robot graduates crossing the stage, it wasn't really what was needed. What we found was needed was a platform that could reach students, congratulate them, engage with them in a way that marks the achievement in style. It's easy to forget that graduation is the last time for many that they'll see their lecturers, some of their university friends, and those interactions are what we wanted to capture. In many ways, those connections, those celebrations, and those final goodbyes, they are the magic of graduation. So our platform aims to capture that magic for friends and family at home. So I'll hand over to Dominic, who will explain a bit about our market research and how we came to that conclusion.
So market research took place over the past few months. We've looked at a small group of students, and also we spoke to a small group of graduation organisers as well. And the main points that we took are shown on screen. As you can see, there are a few that are very similar to each other. So for example, the students did not want to mimic a live graduation, and the graduation organisers didn't want to replace a live graduation, which we understand. So we'd be looking to create a platform that is different to a graduation, but still has that celebration in place. You'll also see that the students were looking for digital shareable graduation assets. And so again, that would be something that we'd be looking to provide from the platform. Finally, the graduation organisers looked to have and gather more alumni information from the platform itself. Again, this was a brilliant idea, something where there was a link between that final moment the graduates have and the alumni step that they take when going into the working environment.
So taking in all of this market research and our knowledge and our understanding of what works in a virtual world and what works in a physical world, we've put together what we believe to be a really incredible solution for students and universities. And the idea is all around creating something that the universities can set up really simply and easily. They can customize their own graduation platform and page, choose the student information and decide what activities they want to offer the students. And then in the build up towards the actual ceremony, we want students to really engage with the whole graduation process, and they'd be able to create an account on our platform, play games, order merchandise, interact with other students, and create some great exclusive content for themselves. When the graduation actually starts, students, along with their friends and family, are able to go and watch the ceremony online and experience that congratulatory moments with their classmates and family and friends. But what's really important for us is actually that the graduation also lives on. And we've been factoring into the platform and our ideas and suggestions today a way that students can use this graduation platform to reconnect with old classmates and re-engage with all of the different memories that they have in their student experience.
So a quick synopsis of why. I think if we did the market research 6 months ago, it would have been very different to the most recent market research we've done. There's two questions here really: why virtual graduations and why we need them right now. What we need right now is more obvious than ever. Because of COVID-19, students have had an unexpected end to the year, and we need to create a positive story with a virtual graduation. Virtual now, physical later. Of course, there are many reasons in general why you would use a virtual graduation, and here are a few on the screen. Increased engagement through meaningful interactions. This isn't just between the university and the students, it's also between people of the same course and friendship groups. Virtual graduation also amplifies the experience by creating unique content which can be shared online, building a wider awareness of the university. It can also be used to drive revenue. This is through connecting to the alumni network and also driving revenue through our online store, through merchandise, which we'll come on to later. This money can be used for scholarships and other fantastic support that the university provides to its students. And most of all, an increased audience size, uncapped audience size for family and friends, because this is in the digital world. So without further ado, I'll hand over to Dan, who will explain a little bit about our platform.
So when we've started looking at how to bring graduations and other event experiences online, and we started looking at this over the last year or two, and we've always kind of had in the back of our mind that a number of these different experiences need to have a much bigger and better online presence. And COVID has just accelerated some of those thoughts for us. And the thing that was really important was that it shouldn't be this watching a TV screen. It should be all about trying to recreate some of that magic and excitement and enthralling attitude that you get when you're in a live space and you get to communicate with people. So the first thing that we did was try to create a platform that focuses on lots of different things going on. It's all about energy, and it's about creating a number of different activities. Students would be emailed and invited to go and sign up to the system, and they can go and they can create their own account, and then they're able to see and interact with a number of different activities. And I'm going to run through each one of those different activities for you right now. So the first thing is the virtual ceremony. We know that this is really important for students to be able to have that moment where they feel that the universities can talk to them individually and congratulate them on the achievements that they've made during their time there. So the universities would pre-record the traditional graduation style speeches. We can help with putting this together into a really engaging video format, and can upload this onto our platform. And then what's really important, what we feel is makes the students really engage with the platform, is that they won't be able to see and interact with the video until a specific time. So if their graduation starts at 10 o'clock on a Tuesday, they'll see a countdown leading up to that point. They'll also be able to invite friends and family to the platform. So students will have their own account, but they can then invite a number of different friends and families to go and watch the graduation, and also see a number of the different activities that they've created. Those I'm going to talk to you about now. So the first one is the graduation clip. So part of the feedback from the students was all around that they wanted to create something that gave them a shareable memory and moment from their graduation. So our idea was that we could create their own graduation story. So students would be able to log onto their platform, they could record their own video, and they'd be prompted with things to say, to talk about the experience that they've had and what it means to them to graduate from their university. They'd get a digital mortarboard, or if they have a physical one, then they can wear it themselves. And we'd add overlays and customizations to their video. And then what would happen is our software would combine information we already know about when they started university and what course they did, and combine that with their photos and videos and a selection of their choices, so they can choose their favorite area within the university and their favorite area within the town. And they do this on a very simple web page, the one that I'm just showing you now. We'll combine that into a very quick 20-second Instagram story or TikTok friendly video that they'll remember, keep, download, and be able to share for the rest of their lives. The next piece of shareable content is a class photo. So this works by taking a photo of yourself from your laptop or your mobile phone. Our software will then remove the background. So if you're taking a photo of me, you get rid of all my little post-it notes and door frame in the background, and would then add myself to a scene from the university. And then all of my classmates would also upload their photos and add themselves to that scene. So we combine all of those images, and our software would automatically do that so that everybody's face can be seen, everybody gets the same amount of space within the photo. And that photo can then be something that's downloaded or can be shared for each of the students. We also, as part of our ongoing interactions with the students, is that we'd inspire them to go back each year and take another photo of themselves posing against exactly the same background. And then you can see every year how your class has changed since the date of graduation. What we also we're looking at doing is how to create that really nice moment of an iconic image within the university, but made up of students' graduation, the students who are graduating's faces. So the way it would work is, again, you submit a real photo of yourself, and we would take that photo and we would assign it to a spot within the grid. So you'd see this big grid of photos. Your photo would then be assigned to one of those spots, and as all of the different students add their content, it will then start to reveal an iconic image from the university. Again, the students can download that, but also the university can use this. It could be used as something that the university can print and put up onto in a location, or it could be a digital asset on a screen that each year changes, so you start to see how the students have evolved year on year. One of the key bits from a graduation that I certainly remember, and I think that everybody will recognise as a really key moment, is the hat throw and the mortarboard throw. So what we wanted to do is to be able to allow students to create an image and a video for themselves of them and their friends throwing their hats in the air. And because quite often this is difficult to capture, and it's something that students don't always get to keep. So at home, you could record yourself throwing your hat in the air, you upload it to the platform, and then you choose your friends that you want to be part of that mortarboard throwing group for. And we put them together into a grid similar to a Zoom style grid, but it's a GIF, so it shows dynamically you throwing your hat in the air. And again, that can be downloaded or can be shared online. With all of this content, we can brand it up so that it's got some of the university assets on it as well. So every time that content gets shared, the university is being talked about in and around the community.
Brilliant. And so the next part, which is another part of the engaging content, is the Mortarboard challenge. This is quite an American side of things, but it's something which is really brilliant for creative students who are looking to provide, to give themselves a sort of keepsake from the graduation day itself. So we recommend the students to upload an image. They can either decorate the hat themselves on the day and then upload their image to the platform, or they can just upload an image of the Mortarboard cap that they have received. Or there is also another option where we provide a digital cap for them to put the stickers on themselves. We recommend to either provide the students with a theme to use to make their hat, or just to make it their own, put some of their own personality onto the cap itself. I'll pass back over to Dan to speak more about the augmented reality side of this.
So the way this would work and function is that students would be able to take a photo using their own phone or from their laptop, and it would digitally add on the asset of a mortarboard. They'd then have the opportunity to add in lots of different stickers, and these could be customized to the university, so having an animated university logo, or the colorways of the university, or some of the iconic imagery. And they can drag and drop those on top of the hat and use our online facility to be able to customize the hat to their own design. They also could then see their Mortarboard challenge being voted on. So once they've saved their image, all of the students can see those photos if they've been consented, and they can vote for the best ones, and you'll be able to see a leaderboard of the best designed Mortarboard.
So moving on, as Martin's already stated, obviously revenue being brought from this is incredibly important. It's what helps the universities in the future, helping them to grow and provide things such as scholarships. So a part of this is the graduation store, to be able to provide graduates with memorabilia, to remember their day and to take part in the actual platform itself. There's two parts to this approach. There's the part that we would provide, and then there's a part where you can provide items to be purchased from the store. So firstly, I'll talk about our side. We would be able to provide the graduation cap itself, and we'd also, after speaking with you, would be able to provide as well frames, stoles, and other graduation memorabilia. But as I say, we would speak with you first to confirm what you would like us to put onto the store. From your side, obviously, you would have a university shop that usually would be filled with students on graduation day, picking up their class of 2020 hoodies or t-shirts and other items as well. So if you would like, we can add that into our store. They can purchase on the store, and then we would then work with you to then make sure that their order was fulfilled. And then obviously with regard to revenue, that would be sorted as well. So back onto the fun stuff. We also have a quiz to engage the students. I think everyone has probably been getting involved in quite a lot of quizzes whilst in lockdown, and everyone's been getting quite competitive about them. So we'd hope that the students will be doing the same on the quizzes on our platform. The quizzes themselves are a great way to actually engage the students. Lots of students are naturally incredibly competitive, and so I feel like there would be a lot of engagement with the quiz itself. We would be able to provide you with 20 generic sort of graduation quizzes, which we'd be happy to give, and you'd be able to provide to the students. That would lead to working daily engagements with the students leading up to the event, to make sure that they attended the day as well. So that's a really good deliverable from our side, and will drive engagement overall. Moving on, the Alumni Center is something that we received research from our graduation organisers that we spoke to in advance. So this is something where you will have a table on the day, usually at graduations, but it's something that's a little bit more engaging for the students this time around. So what we're doing here is we're combining a virtual yearbook, which pulls data from LinkedIn, which allows the students to then basically create a tile yearbook, which they can have as a deliverable after the day in electronic format. This is brilliant for both the student and also the alumni department. So firstly, the student side, it allows them to then collaborate in the future with students, come back and visit students who they thought they might not have a connection with, but actually would be able to work with in the future, which would be brilliant. And overall, it might be handy for them to find future jobs as well. For the alumni department, it allows them to see live updates of what the students are doing, as all the data is pulled from LinkedIn. And it then allows them to put together things such as success stories and also mentorship schemes for students who are at the university currently. So overall, it's an incredibly powerful tool. The virtual reunion side of things is something that we're currently building towards putting into the Alumni Center as well. Obviously, Alumni Center itself is quite powerful, but having a virtual reunions is brilliant because that allows the university to drive a real virtual push in terms of re-engaging the students years down the line. So we've had ideas such as providing virtual panels to students with industry-specific speakers. So they'll be having relevant content pushed towards them regularly. It also allows students to have course reunions years down the line without having to physically travel back to the university, as we know that many university students, once finished their degree, will move back either back home or to another area. So it's incredibly powerful for re-engagement overall, and it provides simple and relevant content to the students, which we know is incredibly important to millennials.
Yes, we're really excited about the virtual reunions. We feel it's a way that we can really target different courses rather than just a faculty or a university as a whole to create relevant content just for those specific groups. So the next slide is about university management. We want to make sure that this platform is as simple and as easy to use as possible. We know in the current situation that student services, the IT departments, they're working at a lower capacity than they can normally deal with, so they will not be able to help out necessarily. We want to keep it as simple as it can for you, the university organisers. So as you can see on the page here, it's a simple upload functionality where you upload your logos, video footage, and choose the colours for the actual platform itself. And we've generated a few examples on the next page for our existing clients. So the University of Northampton, which you've been seeing all along, University of Lancaster, Lancaster University, University of Exeter, and Portsmouth. So it's really simple and easy to set up, and it really is supposed to be intuitive. Everything in the back office is stuff you'd have seen before. It's not kind of things in weird places. It's really easy to use. So obviously that is the platform, and you're probably wondering how much has everything we've just seen going to cost to be able for us to use. So I'll get on to the costings. So we know there's a fine line between what is just right and what's a little bit too expensive. So we did a lot of research looking at what other offerings are out there. We saw some offerings which were as much as £5 per student. So we wanted to make sure we pitched it in just the right place. So we split it down into two different aspects. The first aspect being the initial setup fee. So this is a per graduation event fee, £3,000, and that would cover the whole event. So if it's 2, 3, 4, 5 days, it's that one fee for the whole event. And that includes the first year annual subscription to all the content which is stored on the system. On top of that, there would be an additional fee of a sign-up fee of £2 per student. And during this first year, for 5 early adopters of this platform who are in this webinar, we're going to offer that fee at £1 instead of £2. So by way of example, if you had 3,000 students, you'd pay the £3,000 setup fee plus 2 times 3,000, £9,000 in total if you were going off the pricing on the screen right now. But if you were one of those early adopters, you'd pay 3,000 and then 1 times 3,000, which is 6,000 in total to use the platform. So we hope that this is, a unique platform, but also something that's pitched at just the right place to engage students, but also be affordable. So we've actually got through things quite quickly. I'm very happy about that. It leaves plenty of time for us to go into the Q&A. So that is Graduations Live. We've had quite a few questions, which I can see on the right-hand side here. So if you give me just a moment, I'm going to have a quick look through and answer a few of those for you. So the first one is quite a simple one. Is the webinar being recorded? Will you share the slides after the event? Yes, absolutely. This has all been recorded. So you'll get a copy of the slides, you'll get a copy of the video straight after the event. It'll probably come in about two hours. Next question. So we have a question about GDPR. So obviously this is something which is really important to the universities. Every university manages their data slightly differently, and this is a great question for Dan, so I'll hand over to him.
Sure, yeah, so when the students are invited to join the platform, they sign up and they will agree to some terms and conditions. So those terms and conditions will just be agreeing to where their data is going to be stored, and will also allow them to be able to contact us to be able to remove their data at any point. Of course, their data will never be used elsewhere other than within the platform. Then when they go on to creating their own content and consent, so let's say, for example, they're creating the graduation clip, that's their own clip and their own content. So they would be able to create that and download that. It will be stored on our servers for 3 months. We can change and flex that, but that's generally how we would tend to like it to work. And then after that point, it will be deleted and it's up to them to download it and use it themselves. But when there's more collaborative content, such as the class photo, for example, we would ask students to consent that their content will be able to be used and displayed publicly. If students decide not to consent to do that, then their photos would be unable to be used in the public class photo.
Okay, I guess that question kind of links in with something that's been asked by Roxanne. Does the university provide details of the class groups, or is this done by the students themselves? So at the moment, we've designed this to be a pre-populated system, so the university would provide details. So those details, Dan, are they uploaded by the organizer themselves?
Yeah, uploaded by the organizer themselves, and it would just need to. There's two different options. The university can email all the students with their with the address to sign up, but we would just need to know their student number and what course and where they've graduated from. Or our platform can automatically email them if you want to upload their names and email address.
Sure, this data is key in providing a really slick student experience. This is how we tie together all the students on the platform. This is how we create those group photos, those class photos. So this data is imperative. And the best thing is if the students don't provide that, the university does, we know it's accurate and everything on the system is correct from the start. So we've got loads more questions coming in now. So I'm just going to quickly skim through and find a couple more. One from Gemma Edney. For those that use third-party merchandise suppliers for their class of memorabilia, are they able to host it on the store? That is something we are open to. At this early point in time, we are open-minded to any suggestions. And it makes sense if it's not the university shop, it's a second or third party, in this case, hosting on there, we can add their products. And we will just provide them with a generated list of sales, a generated dispatch manifest, so they know exactly what's been ordered, so they can fulfill those orders for you. So the answer to that question is yes. Just looking through, I think we've got one about timeframes here. So what are the timeframes on the platform? At the moment, we're onboarding clients ready for July ceremonies. The more specific timeframes, I'll just hand over to Dan to answer.
Yeah, sure. So the onboarding process, we really want to start onboarding universities as soon as possible, just so that we can really gear everything and select which activities and how the site's going to look up until the July ceremonies. And then ongoing after that, as a platform is more regularly used and updated, we'll be able to set up universities and graduations in under 2 weeks to get content tested and be ready to add students to it.
Perfect. Thank you, Dan. I think we've got time for one or two more questions. So I'm going to take one from Sharon. You said it's £3,000 for the event. We usually have 18 ceremonies over 7 days. Is the cost still £3,000? That is correct. The fee is for the whole event. So it doesn't matter if it's 7, 8 days, 3 days. It doesn't matter if you have 15 ceremonies or 30 ceremonies, it's £3,000. But then there is the additional fee per student registered on the platform, which is £2, or if you're an early adopter, £1. So hopefully that answers your question. Let me just pick out one last one. Would you be able to do live streaming and video creation for the live stream graduation? Could we do this in our traditional graduation venue or from a hybrid event filming studio? So at the moment, the platform doesn't have live stream. So it's not real-time content, it's pre-recorded content. But it doesn't mean that we aren't looking into live stream. That is the next step. So the answer is, with live streaming, not now, but it will be available in the future. In terms of video creation, you can get as creative as you like. We can help with the editing. We can't help with the filming because socially distanced filming would be difficult. But you are able to use pre-recorded footage that you have or new footage that you're recording. And we can provide a package where we can do the editing. That will be an additional charge. But we can create a very slick, very engaging video, which then can be hosted on the platform. Or if you'd prefer, you can do that all yourself. Many universities have their own kind of video and photography department. I know the University of Lancaster does. So, you know, they do that in-house. They'd be brilliant at that. And likewise, if the department isn't operating, we can help at the same time. So I hope that answers your question. That brings us up to 1 minute before the end. So I don't think we'll have any time for more questions, but any questions that remain unanswered, I'm going to collate those, put them into a document, and they will be shared with you along with the video and along with the slides after today's sessions. If you do have any more burning questions, please feel free to email me. My details are on the screen now, and I'll get back to you. So what happens next? If you're interested in using Graduations.Live, do get in contact. Do let us know as soon as possible, and do start the process of giving your students a virtual graduation and the recognition they deserve. So I'd like to finish by saying good luck to everybody that's joined us. Stay safe, and I look forward to hearing from you. So from myself, thank you very much. And from the team, thank you also.